Selenium for Beginners with Rex Jones II. Closed captioning is available for you. Switch CC on or off.
Let's demo the for loop. We will start by writing two print statements. Sysout start for loop. Sysout stop for loop. \n. The \n is used for skipping lines. Both print statements will be our indicator when the loop starts and stops. Next, we write for, then control the space, and select the first option. Modify the statement I less than array.length to I less than or equal to 10. The keyword for starts the for loop. We have three statements within the parentheses separated by a semicolon. The first statement is int I equals 0. Second statement is I less than or equal to 10. And the third statement is I plus plus. Int I equals 0 is an initialization which sets the initial value of the loop control variable. In this case, the loop control variable is I and will start at 0. The first statement operates like a counter that controls the loop. I less than or equal to 10 is a condition. This condition is a Boolean expression that determines if the loop repeats or not. The loop repeats if the condition is true, but does not repeat if the condition is false. Our loop starts at 0 and stops when the condition is less than or equal to 10. I++ is an iteration. An iteration defines the number of times the counter variable changes after each loop. This iteration will increment by 1. Therefore, the counter variable, which is I, will increase by 1 after each loop. I++ is short for I equal I plus 1, which adds 1 to I. The short version of I equals I plus 1 is I plus equals 1. All the three versions add 1 to I. However, the default and conventional way to write an iteration is I plus plus. Last is the body. Sysout I equal append I, which is a statement that will get executed when the condition is true. Let's run. The counter variable starts printing at 0 and stops printing at 10. The condition keeps checking until I is less than or equal to 10. I'm getting ready to show you through debug so you can see how the for loop operates behind the code. Add a breakpoint at line 14. Debug. We see execution stop at the for loop. Watch the starting value get set to 0 after I step into. So far, the starting value has been set and our program verified 0 is less than 10. Since the condition is true, execution stopped at the print statement. Step into, and I equals 0 is printed to the console. Execution is back at the for loop. Our program is now finished with the initialization statement int I equals 0. From this point, the focus will be on the condition and iteration. Iteration I++ will increment the value by 1, then check the condition and verify if the value is less than or equal to 10. Stepping 2, and I is set to 1. Stepping 2 again, and the console shows I equals 1. It will continue this same process of incrementing the value and checking the condition until counter variable I is no longer less than or equal to 10. I'm going to step in 2 until I equals 10 using F5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now when I step in 2, the program will exit the for loop. We see stop for loop is highlighted. Step in 2 for the last time. Then we see the console shows start for loop, counter variables 0 to 10, and stop for loop. This for loop shows what happens when the condition is true, but look what happens when the condition is false. Change the condition to greater than or equal to. So starting out, 0 is not greater than 10. Let's run. All we see is start for loop and stop for loop. The loop started and stopped, but the code inside the for loop did not execute because the condition is false. By mistake, we can create an infinite loop. An infinite loop is a loop that never terminates because the condition is always true. For example, let's change the starting value to 20. This condition remains true because starting out, 20 is greater than 10. Let's run. Do you see what's happening in the console? Execution will never stop, so we must click the red button to terminate our execution. Let me change the value 20 to 0 and make the condition less than or equal to. I have a question for you. How would you count backwards from 10 to 0 using the for loop? We must use the decrement operator. Sysout start for loop. Sysout stop for loop. \n. For, then a parenthesis, and both brackets. Within the parentheses, I'll write the initialization statement int x equals 10 and a semicolon. This makes our starting value 10. Next is the condition x greater than or equal to 0 and a semicolon. The first check will be true because 10 is greater than 0. Last is the iteration x minus minus, which will decrease the counter variable. Execution statement is sysout x equals append x. Let's run. we see X starts at 10 and stops at 0. If you wanted to decrease the value by number greater than 1, you can write X minus equals 2 to decrement by 2. Let's run. And you'll see what happens. The console shows 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0. That's it for the for loop.
Online courses coming soon. Books available in paperback, ebook, and PDF. All Part 1 ebooks and PDF documents are free. Programming books for UFT. Programming books for Java. Here's a Selenium automation book. And TestNG. Subscribe to get notification of future videos. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.